Hello, hello, hello. It's the Bird Emergency. It's Megaphone Monday, where I get to talk to Dr. Holly Parsons from Birdlife Australia, the manager of the Urban Birds Project, and we'll shorten that down to a handle that everybody knows and can easily find. That's Birds in Backyards. Hi, Holly. But hey, today we're going to talk about just about all, I think, of the current Birdlife Australia, and that's Birdlife Oz. If you want to go on Twitter and use the handle at Birdlife Oz and follow it, it's birdlife.org.au. Yes,
that's right.
There we go. I was going to call it .oz, but I know. And so we'll be putting up as much of the links and the information as possible as we go through. So a little bit less free form than we usually go, but looking forward to hopefully having someone jump in and tell us about their work they may have done as a citizen scientist or what they would like to do. But we've got a guest, haven't we, Holly? We have a guest today. Let's bring her in. Hello, it's Skye McPherson. Hello, Skye.
Hi, Grant. How are you? Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Now, Holly, would you like to tell everyone what Skye is doing in terms of the citizen science that we're talking about today?
So Skye is one of the amazing team at Birdlife Australia, and she is coordinating the southeastern red-tailed Black-Cockatoo count, Skye, and project. She can tell us much more about it than I can.
Spot on. Yeah, it's the southeastern red-tailed Black-Cockatoo, which basically the range down southwest of Victoria and southeast of South Australia, an endangered species. So, yeah, we've been keeping track of the numbers for the past 10 or so years now. And, yeah, we're always looking for volunteers to help out, trying to keep track of what the population is looking like.
Skye, can I ask you, what does somebody need in terms of skill to be able to take part in the red-tailed black-cocky count?
Pretty much they just need some eyeballs and some ears. Yeah, quite often, the easiest way to find red tails is listening out for them. Yeah, that's a nice tip for you.
How do the records, the survey records, entries get made? Oh.
Yeah, so basically what will happen if you're involved in the count, you'll just physically write it down when you're out in the field, and then you just email me that data that you've recorded for the day, and that then gets uploaded to our database. So it's a pretty easy, straightforward process for the volunteers involved. Yeah, and we just try and make it straightforward.
So it's one day only. So what's the area that you cover, and is there like a meeting before everyone goes out? Do people have a specific area to survey like they do with the Tasmanian where wedgie surveys, or is it just wherever they are, similar to the backyard bird count?
Yeah, it is basically focused in the red-tail habitat. Obviously, we send volunteers out to stringy bark sites across the region, and there's about 60 sites that we cover on this one particular day. And that range is scattered from Nelson down in the south and up to Little Desert National Park in the north of the southwest Vic Range. And then in South Australia, it's all the way down from Mount Gambier in the south and then up to the Keith area in the top of South Australia. So there's a lot of range to cover on the day. So yeah, that's why we're always looking for more volunteers.
So that tells us that you need at least 60 people to be involved to cover all the sites. So how long has it been going? And like, how many surveys have you already done? And give us an idea of the participant numbers and what have you found out so far?
Yeah, basically it's been going for over 10 years. This is actually the first count that I will be coordinating as part of the Birdlife role. I have been a volunteer myself on the count a few years ago. But yeah, basically, it's been going for quite a few years now, and we've noticed that the population is not really increasing currently. Yeah, it's really just stabilised to a certain point now, and which just tells us that there's obviously a lot more work that we need to do in terms of protecting their habitat and their numbers.
Now the red-tails in southwest Victoria and that southeastern part of South Australia, are they a race, are they a subspecies, or are they potentially a separate species to the other red-tailed black-cocky populations?
Yeah, good question, Grant. They are actually noted or known as a subspecies of red-tailed black-cockatoo. There is actually 5 subspecies of red-tails in Australia. And, our southeastern subspecies, that's an endangered species of the red-tails.
Now, it's one of the Indigenous names that gets applied commonly in the region. Who wants to have a crack at it?
Not me.
Isn't it the Karak is the southwest Victorian name for the red-tailed black? I might be making a complete idiot of myself, but a couple of years ago that there was a lot of publicity, and I think it was a mascot for, was it the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne?
I think it has been some sort of mascot, but I think the Indigenous name, I think there's quite a few different names depending on the region, and I know that in WA, that could be the case over in WA as well, because they have the Karakan sanctuary over there. So I don't know.
It's probably, I'll tell you what, I'll admit my ignorance here. It was probably a name that someone in the Commonwealth Games marketing team grabbed from the southwest of Western Australia and wrongly applied to the southwest of Victoria. And I bought into it. It's probably the way it goes. Holly, I hate to be the sort of person who asks all the questions, but if you're sending people out to do a survey that's affiliated with an organisation, what about insurance? Do you know how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. So we at Birdlife, and I'm sure Skye can fill you in as well, we do risk assessments for all our field work. We have all our volunteers sign on, which means that they're covered by public liability insurance, and they are, notified of when, where they are supposed to be and what all the risks are that are associated with their field work. There'll be someone out there with first aid training, contact points that will be Skye and probably some other people as well. So, of course, we want to make sure everybody is safe and making sure that they are following instructions and doing the right thing to keep themselves safe and keep the birds safe. We don't do field work, for example, on catastrophic fire conditions and things. There are all sorts of criteria that we put in place on when events go ahead or when they're postponed for some health and safety reasons.
And look, I'm just pushing the boundaries here, but having recently had a little scare with something myself, do people have to make a declaration that they are fit and able to do vigorous walking or something like that to be involved? Skye?
Yeah, I think we just advise that's sort of appropriate for the type of work that's required of the participants. I think they're pretty well across what would be involved with our registration form that we send out to everyone. So we explain what would be required on the day. Hopefully everyone's truthful with their responses.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure that someone with a buggy or a walking frame doesn't rock up and go, I'm here to help, and they might be disappointed if they're on the organisers' table. Apart from the surveys that are happening, what other work is the project doing regularly, Scott?
I should actually also mention the stringy bark assessments that we do, and this is also an added bonus, you could say, for the annual count. We're offering it to participants to do their own stringy bark analysis, which is what we have been doing for a few years now. But we've just decided last year and having another go this year that, if you're interested in having a look at some of the stringy bark that you're walking around in, you can actually look at the canopy of about 5 or 6 trees we ask, and we just get you to tell us what condition the trees are in, if it's got a good canopy cover or if it's got lots of seed capsules on the top as well. But that's the stringy bark monitoring is a program that the recovery team have been working on as well, which is something that, a recent thing that we can get participants involved in as well.
Terrific. Well, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just scrolling along the form on redtail.com.au/how to get involved in counts. .html, and you have to fill out this little form with your name and whatnot. But the other questions, you get to nominate a site preference. So eastern part of range, maybe around a particular town. Annual count training required, yes or no? Have you participated in the count previously? Yes or no? And do you have a 4-wheel drive? So obviously, if they answered yes to that, Skye, I'm guessing they're going to be perhaps helping ferry people around the survey area.
Yeah, or getting into areas that are a little bit more difficult for two-wheel drivers. Yeah, there's obviously quite a few places that are a bit isolated and have real sandy tracks at this time of year. So if you have a four-wheel drive and a comfortable four-wheel driving, it's always good to have those types of vehicles and people for the count.
Definitely. Now, is there an email address or some socials where people could reach out between now and then if they wanted to talk to you or somebody else who's been involved in the count before, or just generally follow the recovery team?
Yeah, we try and keep the website up to date as possible. But yeah, there's also our Facebook page as well, which we do the occasional post on. I think it's just Red-tail. Can't remember the name of the Facebook page, but I can have a quick look. If you just Google Red-tail, the Facebook page, to find it. Southeastern Red-tailed Black-Cockatoo project.
If you Google Red-tail count 2022, for me it was the top result in Google. So I'm sure if you threw Facebook on the end of it, you would probably find the Facebook page really easily. Have you got anything else that you want to let us know before we bid you adieu?
I'd just probably suggest that if you are in the red-tail range, it's really great if you do see any red-tails between now and the annual count on the 7th of May, to report those sightings, because that gives us a little bit more direction as to where to send volunteers on the day. So if we know where those red-tails are hanging out, we're more likely to see them. So yeah, between sort of March, April, May is a really good time to report your sightings.
And Skye, are the recovery team monitoring the data that might be on maybe eBird or Bird Data or anything else along the journey?
Possibly.
Holly, do you know, is there a preferred, if people are used to using apps and putting their sightings in, is there a preferred app to use?
Oh, look, it probably does depend on the project, but I know within my urban team that we use Bird Data as our primary source or our primary place that we direct our surveys, but we do check other databases as well. And there are so many great sources of information out there now. Citizen science has had this massive boom, which means that there are all these platforms that you can check and pull data from. Everybody is open and sharing information, so that's fantastic. No matter where you put it, chances are that anybody who's researching that species will be able to find it.
Yeah, magnificent, really good. Skye, is there anything else other than go to redtail.com.au to sign up? Saturday, 7th of May is the next count. Is there only one a year?
Yep, one a year, the first Saturday in May.
So there you have it, the first of the short clips from the most recent Monday Megaphone. The voices that you heard in that little bonus episode were Skye McPherson, Dr. Holly Parsons, both from Birdlife Australia, and me, Grant Williams, from the Bird Emergency.